Hey everyone, and welcome back. We talk a lot about sleep on this show, but have you ever noticed how it kind of changes with the seasons?
Oh, absolutely. It's something most of us experience, but we rarely stop to think about why it happens.
Right. Like suddenly you're hitting the snooze button 5 times in winter, but in summer you're practically bouncing out of bed. So today, we're diving deep into the science behind seasonal sleep.
It's fascinating stuff, really. And understanding it can be a game changer for your sleep quality, no matter what time of year it is.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. We've all heard about our internal clock, that circadian rhythm thing, but how does it actually, work with the changing seasons?
Well, it all boils down to light, or more specifically, the amount of daylight our bodies are exposed to.
So like less light in winter equals more sleep.
Exactly. Think about it. Shorter days, less sunlight. Our bodies react by producing more melatonin, which basically tells our systems it's time to sleep.
And melatonin is that sleep hormone, right?
Yes. It's a key player in regulating our sleep-wake cycle. So in winter, when it's darker for longer, our melatonin production goes up, and
Yeah.
we naturally crave those longer snoozes.
Okay, that makes sense. But then summer rolls around, the days are longer, we're outside more, and bam, we're suddenly wide awake until midnight.
Exactly. More daylight means our bodies produce less melatonin, and we're simply less inclined to sleep. It's like our internal clock is naturally synchronized with the seasons.
So we're hardwired to respond to these light cues like some kind of ancient biological clock.
Precisely. It's a pretty remarkable system when you think about it.
It is. But it doesn't fully explain why some people become champion sleepers in winter, while others are still dragging themselves through the day.
And what about the different types of sleep we experience? There's more to it than just how much we sleep, right?
You're right, there's a whole other layer to uncover. It's not just about the quantity of sleep, but the quality. And that, my friend, is where things get really interesting.
So we're talking about how it's not just about how much we sleep, but how we sleep changes with the seasons. What's the
Mm,
deal with that?
right. So you've got different stages of sleep, right? You've got REM sleep, that dreamy stage, and it's actually super important. It's not just some like whimsical thing.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that REM sleep is really important for memory. Absolutely. It's like your brain's way of processing all the information from the day, consolidating memories, and even getting those creative juices flowing.
So even though we might feel like we're totally powered down in winter, especially with those shorter days, our brains are actually hard at work.
Exactly. It's almost like our brains are taking advantage of that extra downtime, using those long winter nights to process everything and make new connections.
Wow, okay. So more REM sleep in winter. What about deep sleep? That's the one everyone talks about.
Deep sleep, that's the holy grail of rest and rejuvenation. That's when your body really gets down to business, repairing cells, rebuilding muscles, the whole 9 yards.
Okay, so deep sleep is essential. I'm guessing it changes with the seasons too.
It does. And you might be surprised to hear this, but deep sleep actually takes a dip in, of all months, September. September. Wait, seriously. But that's when school starts back up, everyone's back to the daily grind. Why would our deep sleep decrease when we probably need it the most?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Researchers are still trying to pinpoint the exact why, but
But there's got to be some reason, right?
yeah, it's probably no coincidence that this September slump happens right as we're transitioning from those long summer days to shorter autumn days. It's like our internal clocks experience this mini jet lag.
Mini jet lag. Ugh, yeah, I've been there. But okay, if our bodies naturally do this deep sleep dip thing in September, what can we actually do about it? Should we just resign ourselves to feeling drained and hope for the best?
Definitely not. Here's the thing. Knowing that deep sleep naturally dips this time of year means we can be proactive. Okay, I like where you're going with this. So, how do we outsmart those September slumps? Spill the secrets.
Well, firstly, sticking to a regular sleep schedule, even on weekends, can make a huge difference.
Yeah, that makes sense. So no more late night weekend shenanigans if I want to win at deep sleep, huh?
You got it. Consistency is key. And hey, remember how we were saying that light plays such a big role? Well, it's not just about the amount of light, but the type of light too, especially in the evenings.
Okay, so we're talking about that blue light from our phones and laptops.
Exactly. That blue light basically tells your brain that it's still daytime, suppressing melatonin production and making it harder to fall asleep.
So no more scrolling social media in bed. Got it. But what about other light? Should I be, like, dimming the lights or something a few hours before bed?
100%. Creating that calming, dimly lit environment a couple of hours before bed is huge.
It's all about setting the mood for sleep, huh? But let's be real, sometimes life happens, and we can't always control our sleep environment perfectly. So what about those times when we need a little extra help?
And that is where understanding the power of those natural rhythms comes in. It's not about quick fixes, but working with our bodies.
I love that. Okay, so we've talked about the hows and whys of seasonal sleep, but what about this so what? Does a better night's sleep really make that much of a difference in our lives? So we've talked about how our sleep patterns change with the seasons, but does it really matter? Is a good night's sleep really that life-changing?
It absolutely can be. You know, it impacts our health and well-being in so many ways we don't even realize.
Okay, you've got my attention. Give me the rundown.
Well, let's start with our mood. I mean, we've all been there, right? Sleep deprived, a little on edge, maybe a tad more likely to snap at the barista when they get our order wrong.
Oh yeah, I've definitely been there.
But when we prioritize sleep, especially during those seasonal transitions when our bodies are adjusting, it's like this incredible mood booster. We're more emotionally resilient, better at handling stress, and, you know, just generally more pleasant to be around.
So good sleep, good mood. Got it. Anything else? What about, like, our immune systems? Does sleep affect that too?
Absolutely. Good sleep is like a superpower for our immune systems. During sleep, our bodies produce these proteins called cytokines, and these little guys, they help fight off infections.
So if we're not sleeping well, we're basically making it easier for those germs to take over.
Exactly. You're much more vulnerable when you're sleep deprived.
Okay, no thank you. I'd much rather be well rested and ready to fight those off. Okay, so we've covered mood, we've covered immunity. Anything else?
Well, remember how we were talking about REM sleep and its link to cognitive function and creativity?
Yeah.
When we're well rested, our brains are primed for those aha moments. We can think more creatively, make new connections, and maybe even finally tackle that project we've been putting off.
You've officially convinced me good sleep is non-negotiable. But before we wrap up, how do we actually do that? You know, with the pressure of our busy lives and everything.
It's about tuning into your body, figuring out what works for you. Maybe it's embracing those longer winter sleeps and adjusting your schedule, or sticking to a consistent sleep routine, dimming the lights in the evening, and ditching those screens a couple of hours before bed. It's all about finding what makes you feel your best.
It's like creating a personalized sleep code, one that evolves with you throughout the year.
I love that. It's so true. And remember, knowledge is power. Now you understand this incredible connection between sleep and the seasons. You're ready to make those informed choices that will benefit you all year round.
It's been an eye-opening deep dive. I'm feeling inspired to prioritize my sleep and make those changes. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating world of sleep. Until next time, sweet dreams.